Yeah, this is JD79. Right now we're introducing the store number, I think it's 7 or something like that. Seven storm of the season. This is the April Fool's Day storm number 2. We had one 14 years ago, and yeah, this storm is pretty special because it's actually a remembering 14 years ago at this time. We had one that had as much as 30 inches of snow, and we've lost power for 3 days. And as you can see, it's snowing in big flakes, and we have the heavy, wet snow. As you can see, I can feel over here. But when you feel when you feel the snow, it's actually sort of like, mashed potatoes, because of the water content that's in the snow that's making it heavy. And yeah, water's heavy, and that's why it sticks in these trees, and as you can see, and if there's enough of them, we cause all the power. It brings down the power lines, and it bends the trees down, and I think you can actually see that it's bending a little bit, and yeah, it's April 1st, and just when we thought we were done with the snow, yep, this comes again. And I'm going to have a couple of stories of what happened 14 years ago. It actually started raining a little bit, but then that turned all to snow. And at that evening, I was going home from school. We first lost power at the first afternoon here on the storm here, and then we got our power back the night on I think it was Monday night here, at 10 o'clock here. And then actually what happened is that our neighbor had a tree, we can hardly see that here, went all the way through the fence here, and uprooted over the fence. My neighbor actually lost a tree during that storm, went over the fence, and we actually had a crashing noise on at that night when the neighbor had a tree that was uprooted. And I was like watching seven, and heard like a million people without power across Massachusetts, and wow. And the next day we lost power again on and then we were without power for 48 hours. And at that time I was like, we were nuts. I mean, my parents to say, oh, we got to get the clicker to watch the TV, because, I mean, we cannot stand it here. I mean, my parents couldn't even stand it because, I mean, they just want to watch TV. And we were actually running for nuts over here. First night we stayed at the Crown Plaza Hotel. The second night we stayed at Howard Johnson. And yeah, boy, these memories of the blizzard of 97, the April Fool's Day storm of 97, and what a time to remember that day when the snow falls. It's turning April 1st, 2011, 14 years later, and memories, memories, memories. Wow. So it's like 35 degrees and snowing over here. It's actually above freezing. And the reason why it's actually snowing is above freezing is because it's actually colder in the upper part of the atmosphere, which is the reason why it's snowing here. And it's actually snowing clumps because it's actually several snowflakes sticking together as it falls down. So it makes it appear to be having some big snowflakes here. So it's actually clumps of snow falling down, piling up in the trees, and yeah. Memories of the April Fool's Day storm of 97. Ugh. I was nuts over that storm. And at the end of the video here, I'm just going to I'm gonna have to have some more details over the weekend about the online pass of that Warner's thing over here. And now, a couple of quick things about the online pass. The first of it, I don't like the online pass feature because I feel that it takes the value away. What's going to happen about 10 years from now, when all of a sudden some of the features are gone because of it's just going to it's going to ruin the future of the game. 10 or 15 years from now, many people are buying Mortal Kombat for the PS3 as a classic collection, realizing that, some features are unavailable because they don't like us buying used games, or they don't like us collecting them here. And yeah, I understand about the used games that are maybe a couple of years old, maybe 1 or 2 years old top here. But they gotta understand that in the long term, it ruins the value of the game in the long term. And the trading game. And I do believe in trading games. I buy used Super Nintendo. I buy used. Most of the games I buy used anyway are Super Nintendo and Sega, like classic used games, Super Nintendo PS1 games. And when the PS3 comes a classic system, that's when it hurts. That's when it comes back to bite me. When 20 years from now, when the PS3 becomes a classic system, and realizing that some of the features are missing in the future releases, I like this game to be playable and usable 20 years from now. And developers have to understand this because it just ruins the collector value of the item once this game becomes a classic and the PS3 becomes a classic. And I imagine 20 years from now, kids these days will be purchasing, going back to PS3 games as a classic one, as well as just like today we have NES's classic and PS1 classics. I'm starting to collect PS1 games today. And that's what the developers have to think about this one. But on the other hand, we've seen GameStop selling used games for $5 less, and they're making maximum profits out of used games. And that's, I could see that area here. And at the perspective, I could be having more of a punishment to the retailers and the consumers at that point here. And but I'll talk more about that this weekend here, but that's what I have to say about online passing here. And it could be alright if the online pass becomes free if the game is like 4 or 5 years old. But otherwise, yeah. At the same time, it just ruins the future value of the game. And well, anyway, that's it for the online pass. Again, this April Fool's Day storm. Yeah, 14 years ago, memories. And that's what I have to say. JD out.